Now let us operationalize different type of inventory costs. That how does these costs actually correspond when you are looking at different values, and how would you compute those costs? First of all, there would be a total procurement cost. That is the cost per order unit price multiplied by the order size. So cost per order unit price of your cost per order multiplied by the total order size will actually give you the total procurement cost. You can call it the purchasing cost. Then we have holding cost. How would you compute it? It's the storage cost plus the carrying cost. Now, what actually storage cost is? Storage cost itself is computed as the cost per unit multiplied by the average inventory. आप कितनी average inventory अपने पास रखते हैं? You need to multiply it with the cost per unit. That would be your storage cost. Actually, it's the average storage cost. It could also be the average cost per unit. How would you calculate the carrying cost in the holding cost? Holding cost is actually a combination of, or a sum of, storage cost plus the carrying cost. Carrying cost is the interest rate multiplied by the unit price multiplied by the average inventory. So what is the average inventory level? In average कितनी inventory आप hold करते हैं multiply by the unit price. Unit price क्या है उस average inventory की, और वो average inventory की average unit price भी हो सकती है. You can have many items with you which you are storing and you can just average out the price of it. Simple average भी हो सकती है, weighted average भी हो सकती है. Then you multiply it with the interest rate. Interest rate actually comes from the actual persisting interest rate. So that will give you the carrying cost. That is your carrying cost. And what would be the average inventory? How would I operationalize it? So average inventory would be the half of the beginning inventory plus the ending inventory. So it's actually the average of your beginning plus the ending inventory. And in continuous cases, this is true for discrete cases. In discrete cases, you would have units of inventory with you. Like you can count them. But if you cannot count them, it's in the form of a liquid, or if it's like that, in that case, your average inventory would be 1 over T, T being the time period in which you have that. And it would be integrated from 0 to T, IT, I being the inventory level at that time, period of time. So it could be any value of I from 0 to T. You need to integrate it in case of the continuous inventory, if you have that case with you. So how will we calculate the storage or the lost sales? Storage cost कैसे आएगी? Storage cost would be the profit and the goodwill cost per unit. Goodwill cost, how will I can calculate the goodwill cost, let's say? Goodwill cost actually comes from your financial reports as well. You have actually the cost of goodwill in your accounts, in book of accounts, intangible asset के तौर पे, it's there. Multiply by the unit lost. Ab unit lost, do you have a mechanism to actually account for the storage? जो shortage है उसके लिए. Do you have a mechanism? For example, there is a customer coming into your retail outlet and he doesn't find the item which he requires, and he would go there. It's a shortage. But do you have a mechanism to, most of the time the demand would be censored. We call it a censored demand. Censored demand is a demand in which you just assume that you have a shortage of this much of a level because you cannot account for such type of customers. Those who come but didn't get the item or didn't purchase anything, and you would assume that it's a goodwill loss because they didn't find the item there. But you are not accounting for it. आप नोट नहीं कर रहे हैं उसको. ऐसा कोई mechanism आमतौर पे define नहीं किया जाता. तो आमतौर पे the demand is usually censored. Censored mean there is some part of the demand which was lost but you didn't account for it. But for shortages, you will account for it. That can be done if you are a manufacturer and there is a customer who asks for the order, but you cannot fulfill it in that period of time, or you fulfilled it afterwards. So it would be a lost sales. Yes, that lost sales can be carry forwarded, or it would be lost forever. So you have your goodwill cost per unit multiplied by the unit lost. And the shortage cost, back order cost means you have a back order. You can fulfill it in the next horizon or next period. It's still a shortage cost. So the first one is the lost sales. Shortage cost could be either a lost sales, which is lost forever. When it is lost forever, you multiply your goodwill cost with the lost units lost. They are lost forever. But if you can carry them forward, you call it the back order cost. It's still a shortage cost, but we call it a back order cost. So back order cost would be back order cost per unit. That means the shortage cost per unit multiplied by units back ordered multiplied by length of back order. कितनी देर के लिए वो डिले हुआ, ये आपको बैक ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट दे देगा. Then we can have different type of other costs as well. This is not the exhaustive list. This was just the operationalization or calculation of different basic or essential cost in the business. We can have transportation cost and in-transit cost as well. We can have the quality cost associated with the total inventory as well. Now, if you see this graph, the first one would be for the discrete case in which we can measure the inventory. But the second one would be for the continuous case. So in continuous case, you cannot count the inventory. In fact, you have to find the integration in order to know the average inventory. Here, the average would not be that simple. The average inventory would not be simple in this one. You have to integrate it from 0 to T in order to find the inventory. T could be your total time period or time horizon. But in case of discrete inventory, it's usually quite predefined, especially with different assumptions of EOQ. Yes, we can relax the assumptions, but more or less the inventory level or the average inventory would be like consistent. You can measure it easily. So students, in this module, we have seen the basic inventory cost structures, and it can become complex for the inventory positioning or inventory levels when you are looking at the inventory which is continuous in nature. Thank you.